Today's session is on a very interesting topic. It was given to me by my associate Krishna. She's a young girl wanting to achieve tremendous success in life. And the generally understood principle is for success, hard work is required. And some other people talk about for success, smart work is required. But the fact is, you have to be neither a hard worker nor a smart worker. You have to be a worker with the right kind of knowledge. So now the question is, what is that knowledge which can give us success without the hard part of it and without the smart part of it? So if you recollect, I've been speaking regularly about this, that when we are born as babies, we are born with zero knowledge. We have no idea whatsoever who we are, where we are, what are we supposed to do here, and what is the purpose of my life. Somebody comes to us and tells us, you are Sanjay Mansukhani, you are a Hindu, you are a male, you are the eldest son, you are a Sindhi. So the identity part begins. And then he is the father, he is the mother, he is the brother. So you start collecting knowledge. From a virtually zero state, the world feeds you information through the five sense organs. And it is not that you are out here out of the blue. You are here because of something which has happened in the past. You are the result of all that has happened in the past. You are the outcome of all that has happened in the past. You are the outcome, the fruit of this universe today, based on a seed which was planted for this universe many ages back. So it is a continuation, it is a flow. It is a seed which gives the tree, tree gives fruits, fruits give more seeds give more trees. So this is a continuous flow. This is a flow of cause and effect. If you are born today as a baby, you are the end effect, the end result of all that has happened in the past, in this creation, in this existence. That is why you are born as a human. That is why you have two hands, two legs. So you are an outcome of the past. You are completely a result of the past. But you have zero memory about it. You have forgotten about it. You don't know anything about it. So you are born ignorant. You are born in the darkness. You know nothing about yourself. You are, you can say, with zero knowledge. So then the purpose of life, the objective of life slowly, steadily becomes to gather knowledge, to gain knowledge. And then people around you tell you, you have to become successful. You must be able to create a name for yourself. You must be able to earn certain amount of money. You must have a house. You must have a car. Your children must go to the best of universities or institutions. And you must have a good wife whom you can take care of. You must have all the facilities of this world. You must have a healthy body. So you have no idea. You are merely picking it up. And based on what you have picked up in the past, you are using your reasoning mind, your conscious mind, to judge whether whatever I'm doing now, is it right or is it wrong? Is it proper or is it improper? So you are working solely on the basis of the mind, which you have created out of the inputs through the sense organs from the world. And those inputs give you your conscious mind. And you have no access into your subconscious mind. Your subconscious mind is what has caused you to be here. Your subconscious mind is what is running your body in an involuntary mode, in an auto mode. You know how to see, you know how to hear, you know how to smell, you know how to taste, you know how to digest food, you know how to pass urine, you know how to shit. All that is coming automatically to you. You know how the heart should beat. You know how the kidney should function. You know how the liver should function, though you have not seen any of it. You have no idea whatsoever at birth whether you have a kidney or not, whether you have a liver or not, whether you have a heart or not, whether you are a living being or not. All that is fed into your system by the world, by your society, by your parents, by your schooling. So that forms your initial level of the conscious mind. You are conscious about it because it has come to you consciously. You have collected it, you have stored it in memory. And that memory now gives you action, gives you karma. And that karma, that action from the mind now comes out through the organs of action. And now you are impacting the world outside through your organs of action. You are changing your location in the world outside. You are moving things in the world outside. You are speaking and putting your thoughts in the world outside. So these various activities, organs of action, these activities of the organs of action are influencing the creation outside, are influencing your environment, are influencing your society. And whatever you're doing outside you, in society, in your environment, in your country, at your workplace, in your family, is deciding whether you are successful or not. So how do you define success? That is one thing which we need to understand. Success can be defined in different ways by different people based on their mental conditioning, based on what their father and mother and relatives taught them, based on what their schooling taught them, based on what they learned from their friends, based on what they have been trained into thinking as success by their employers or in their business or by the government. So success is multiply defined. But whatever be that success, be it earning a name for yourself, be it earning money for yourself, be it entering into happy relationships, be it being a good father or a good mother, a good professional, whatever be that definition of success, it is connected with the action outside. It is connected with what your karma indriyas are doing. It is dependent on the result of your karma. It is dependent on the result of your physical action in your environment. So where does this physical action originate? Where does this karma originate? Where does your influencing the world, anything you do in the world outside, where does it originate? It originates in the mind. The mind is the primary thinker. The mind is the primary designer, planner, wisher, or desirer. The mind desires, the mind plans, the mind evaluates, the mind creates. So it is the mind. There is no doubt about that. But the question is, how is the mind formed? So mind is not available on day one of birth. Mind is not available on day two of birth. Mind is slowly and steadily formed out of sensory inputs from the environment, from the society, from the country you are born in, from the people around you, from your family, your home, your neighborhood, your friends. Everything decides what constitutes your mind. So what are you picking from outside is essentially knowledge. That is why the sense organs in Hindi and Sanskrit are called jnana indriyas. They are senses of picking knowledge. The world outside is nothing but an ocean of knowledge. Everywhere around you is data. Everywhere around you is information. Now, all of us are looking at that data, that information, or that object with the same eye. All of us have the same design of the human eye. But even then, we look differently. Why? Because we see that object with the mind. We do not see the object as it is, as the eye is looking at it. We look at it as the mind is perceiving that object through the eye. So our observation itself is flawed. Our observation itself is influenced by what is already there in the mind. If the mind is in an angry mood, your observation will lead to an angry perception. If your mind is in a peaceful mood, your observation of the same object in another time will lead to a different perception. So, in this state of confused observation, misguided observation, unlearned observation, the whole world is observing. The whole world is picking up knowledge. And that is why this whole world is struggling. Because they are not looking at the same truth. They are looking at the same object, but with different minds, so with different understandings, and with conflicting truths at times. And this leads to a lot of confusion, chaos, struggle. So some people have found a simple way of coming out of this chaos, struggle, and whatever. And they have called it hard work. Keep on pushing. Keep on pushing what you want. Keep on intensifying your action. Keep on expending more and more energy. Keep on giving more and more time. Keep on giving more and more power to what you want. Bulldoze your way through. Tunnel your way through. Force your way through to success. Such people receive their desired success. But then they have stress, tension, and heart problems. They have blood pressure and sugar problems. They have health issues because they are in a state of dis-ease. Human body, human nature, human psychology, at the core of it, wants ananda, wants bliss. But now here, because of a wrong understanding of success and because of a wrong understanding of how to navigate conflicting opinions of people in the world outside, conflicting desires, we bulldoze our way through it. We make life a major struggle. So the purpose of the talk today is life is not a struggle. Life is a wishing tree. Whatever you wish, life will give it to you. And I will prove to you why life is a wishing tree and how you can get success without hard work. Then there are other category of people. These people are people who have minds which have intelligence, which have some level of creativity. So they are not emotional mind who just bulldoze their way, force their way. They use their intelligence, human imagination power, human creativity, and they work smart. When they say work smart, they may manipulate, they may shorten the process, they may look at the same work in a different way and find a shortcut. They may make other people do it for them. So these are the smarter people. But they also are navigating this world outside with conflicting thoughts, conflicting desires, conflicting emotions. But they are navigating this world in a smarter manner because they are not struggling. They are not putting in the hard work. They comparatively are in a relaxed state of mind. They are using their intelligence, their creativity, and their imaginary powers, imagination skills to figure out a way, which is a shortcut, to figure out a way by which somebody else would do it for them, probably at a lower cost, or just by giving a praise to somebody, somebody might happily do it. So the other way is the smart way. But there is a third way. And that third way is there is no need for hard work. There is no need for smart work. It automatically happens. Then the question is, how does that happen? You see, in these two categories, the hard worker and the smart worker, there is an essential difference of the mind. That means there's an essential difference of the knowledge which that mind holds. And that knowledge may have been processed inside the mind, but it has been collected at one point or the other somewhere outside. Because the original mind was without knowledge. A baby does not come with knowledge. An original mind was not there. There was no conscious mind in the first place. A baby has no idea, as I told initially, who he is. What is he doing here? What is the purpose of his life? Where is he? He does not understand planet Earth. We feed him. You are on planet Earth. He says, okay. We tell him A for apple. He says, okay. We tell him 2 plus 2 is 4. He says, okay. We tell him the spelling of Earth is EARTH. He says, okay. If he writes ERTH, the teacher gives him a wrong. Well, this is not right. Earth is not ERTH. Earth is EARTH. So that young boy, young girl, out of complete innocence, because they are ignorant, they have no idea. They believe whatever you are feeding them. And that is where they're getting trapped. They're trapped in a reality in which we all are trapped. And we have been trapped in that reality by people who are above us. So this trap has been coming down the ages. Now, there were certain people who at different points of time in human history, human civilization, have been able to figure out what is the reality and what are we actually seeing. There's a gap. So they have spoken about it. And one of those people who has documented it in a very beautiful manner is Patanjali in his work, Yoga Sutras of Patanjali. In the Samadhi chapter, he has defined Samadhi as an observation of the object without the mind. Whereas we think Samadhi means a superconscious state, the guy has become a Mahatma, a divine power, a saint, he has miraculous powers. That has got nothing to do with Samadhi. Samadhi is a state of observation. Samadhi is a state of consciousness. Samadhi is a state of concentration. In that state of concentration, you are making an observation. You are looking. You are seeing the world. Without concentration, you will find you can see nothing. If you are not alert and aware about what you want to see, if your mind is not on that object, you will not be able to see it. It will not get noticed. It will not get experienced by the mind. It will just be out there as data. It has not come in. For it to come in, you need observation. Observation comes out of concentration. Concentration is called samadhi in yogic language. And concentration is a state of consciousness in which the object is being seen, in which knowledge is being taken. When you are looking at an object, you are looking through your eye. Eye is an organ of knowledge, of collecting knowledge. So when you're looking at something, you are getting knowledge of that object. Now, if your looking is not proper, your knowledge will not be proper. Nobody has taught you how to look. They have taught you how to wear clothes, how to eat, how to speak, how to cycle, how to walk. A number of things have been taught. Mathematical formulas, calculus, chemical equations, what not. You have been taught Shakespeare and the whole world you have been taught. You have been forced to learn. You have been put through an examination system and you have been punished if you have failed the examination. And social approval comes out of that. And you have spent 10 years, 15 years, 20 years doing that. But nobody taught you how to see. Nobody taught you how to hear. Nobody taught you how to smell, how to taste. Why? Because they themselves do not know. And this is the input side of the outside knowledge. This is where the mind is getting constructed. This is where the action will get decided. This is where your karma will get formed. This is where your action in the physical world outside will come. And this is where your success will come from. I'll give you a very good example. Albert Einstein, he came up with the theory of relativity. He said everything in this creation is relative. Fantastic. Why was he able to see that? And why were the other scientists across the world over thousands of years not able to see that? Because they were seeing with their minds. Albert Einstein saw without the mind. He saw the reality as it is. And that is why the theory of relativity came up. So in life, the moment you just switch your observation and are able to put the mind at rest when needed and put the mind on when needed, you are the boss of this creation. You automatically come in the top 0.01% of the human population inhabiting the planet now. These people can see an object as it is, and they control the world. They control what laws are required. They control what stories have to be sold to the human population. Somebody like Elon Musk. Mars has been there for thousands of years, and Moon was also there for thousands of years. It took an American president, a massive storyteller, John F. Kennedy, to sell a story around the moon, put a mind on the moon, the object of the moon, to America. And we had the American landing on the moon, though it is controversial, but he went about the whole process and gained tremendous mileage out of it. And today the same thing is being done by Elon Musk. Mars has been there for thousands of years, millions of years, could be billions of years. But he's the guy who has come up with the story. He's the guy who has applied his mind on the object of Mars. And he has said, we will inhabit Mars. We will colonize Mars. We have made a mess of this planet by our colonization. He wants to create another mess out there. But people get excited because they see with the mind. So they are fed a knowledge which feeds the business interests, the political interests of people who can see an object without the mind, an object without a story. So John F. Kennedy used it for his political interests, for dominating over the Russians, the Soviets. And Elon Musk is doing it to dominate over his competitors in the industrial world, in the technology world. He wants to leave a legacy for himself. So these are people who are successful, and there is no hard work, let me tell you. And there is no smart work, let me tell you that also. They only see what all of us are seeing. And we have a mind which has infinite power. My mind, out of its memory and imagination, can virtually create anything. It can create infinite ways to inhabit Mars mentally. So we don't use that. So Patanjali in his Yoga Sutras is talking about these samadhis. His first samadhi is called Savitarka Samadhi, where we are doing the observation with the mind using reasoning. The second level is Nirvitark, where we are doing the observation without the reasoning. There is no tark, there is no reasoning. We are seeing the object as it is. So my suggestion is, if you just practice stage 2, you will find you have uplifted yourself to the top 0.01% of the population on this planet. And there will be no hard work. All it takes is 10 minutes of practice. Look at any object and look at it as an object. Do not put name, words, description, ideas to it. Just see it as it is. Let it be like a pigeon looking at that object. The pigeon does not know what is that object. Your mind knows. So your mind superimposes itself on that object. And your mind starts to give you a running commentary about that object. And it tells you this is a pen, this is a blue color pen, it is made of plastic. But the eye is not seeing the pen. Eye is not seeing the blue color. Eye is not seeing plastic. Eye is seeing an object. I does not know what is plastic, what is blue, what is pen. The mind knows. And the mind is limiting you straight away, putting you in a straitjacket, putting boundaries around what you are seeing. And that is where you get trapped. So this, in certain spiritual language in our country, is also called Maya. What you are seeing is not the truth. It's an illusion. The object is called a pen is an illusion because you have been told that. Different people around the world might be calling it in 100 different names. You are calling it blue because that is what you have been told. This shade of color is blue. Other nationalities, other countries, other people in different languages might be calling it 1,000 different names. Or the blue color might not exist for them. And you think it is plastic. It might well not be plastic. It might appear to you as plastic. It might be metallic with a plastic finish. So it is at the primary point where knowledge is coming, is getting generated, is getting created, is being accessed by you. That contact point between you and the system outside, and the world outside, and the creation outside, and the environment outside, and the existence outside, that contact point has to be pure, neat, clean. If that contact is neat, clean, pure, then 100% knowledge flows in. Then you are a master. And then your mind is a mastermind because it has stacked right knowledge, precise knowledge, the way it is. And then you have master success in the world outside. There is no hard work involved there. There is no smart work involved there. There is only observing the reality, observing the existence, observing the world, observing whatever your senses are taking in. That's all. Your eye has to work like a real eye. Your ear has to work like a real ear. Your nose has to work like a real nose. Your tongue has to work like a real tongue. It has to do what it is designed to do, supposed to do. But we are not taking that work out of these sense organs. We are allowing the mind to jump into the arena of observation like a monkey. And it starts giving us a running commentary of what it is seeing. And we call this thinking. We think that we are thinking. You are not thinking. You are not thinking. It is your mind which is misbehaving, is speaking out of turn. When the eye is supposed to see, only the eye is supposed to see. Why should the mind interject, interrupt that observation and become like a boss and start commenting about it? No way. So the mind jumps and gets attached to that object. So it shows indiscipline, it shows lack of control, and it shows attachment. And then the mind is the master and you are the slave. You have no control even what your eye is doing, what your ear is doing. So what the hell are you here for? If your eye is getting controlled by what it has heard over the past 30 years, if you're 30 years of age, and it is telling you that now, then you are caught up in the past 30 years, where people fed you whatever they wanted to feed you, and you had no control. Today at 30, you have realized this world is what it is all about. You want to understand reality in its essence, in its true form. So getting liberated from the mind is moksha. Getting liberated from the mind is freedom. Getting liberated from the mind is kevalya. Getting liberated from the mind is nirvana. Getting liberated from the mind is where the infinite domain begins. And where do you start this process? With your observation. I'm sure all of you must be doing some kind of an observation. You're keeping your eyes open, probably for 16 hours a day. So just for 10 minutes a day, practice looking at any object without the mind. Then the mind is taught to learn detachment. Then the mind gets detached. That is vairagya. Then you become the master of the mind. And then the mind becomes disciplined. then the mind is not jumping outside, leaving its home inside you. The mind is supposed to be inside you and not in the world outside. But just because the mind is indisciplined, every time I open my eyes to see something, the mind jumps outside. And what happens is, this mind has infinite capacity. This mind can do time travel. This mind can take you 1,000 years into the future, 10,000 years into the future, and even 1 billion years into the future. If you give it a thought, you will, if you ask questions about time to your mind, about any object, it will tell you. It will tell you right now, if you ask your mind a question, what will happen to Earth after 1 billion years? You will have an answer right now. You will not be there, but the mind is always there. Because as I told you, we have come from the past. We are a result of all the causes of the past. And the primary cause is the creation, the beginning of creation. So all that has happened from the beginning of creation, all the causes are there in this result today. That means it will not happen that I am a mango tree which has come out of a guava seed. So I have a mango seed. Mango seed will come from a mango fruit. Mango fruit will come on a mango tree. Mango tree will come from a mango seed. And the mango tree will not grow on water. Mango tree will grow on soil. So when you start going back using your mind, you will find that all objects, all living beings, they all end up at the same point. And that point is the origin of this creation. And that point is in Ananta time, Anadikal. It is infinite number of years back. We do not exactly know when. So from that time, your mind keeps a record. Yoga says, yogic science says, we carry sanskaras of our past lives. Why just past lives? We carry sanskaras of past creations. We carry sanskaras of all the creations. So this mind, which has a record of all the creations, you are using it to see what color is the car, what is the make of the car. You are a stupid person of the highest order. Let the eye do that, because the eye has been developed, created for that purpose. The mind has been created for a far, far higher purpose. So using a servant, which is meant for a far higher purpose, for a very lowly job. 1. 2, you have become a slave of that servant. He is controlling you. He is telling you day in and day out what to do, what not to do, what is good and what is bad. You are no longer the master, and you are in pain. You are in turmoil. You are in sorrow. You are in stress. You do not know what to do, and you want success. So the point is how to come out of it. So just begin by a simple 10-minute exercise. Look at an object. See it as an object. See it. Don't speak about it to anybody, because the moment you speak it, you'll be using words. Words come from the mind. Don't describe it, even mentally to yourself, because then words are being used. Mind is being used. Just see it like a camera. A camera just catches the photo of an image or an image of an object. So just catch that. That's all. That is what is the eye's job. See it. So what it means is you are concentrating on an object, seeing it, but making no meanings out of it. We look at an object with concentration and we start a running commentary of meanings on that object. We start analyzing that object. We start using our logic on that object. We start judging that object. We connect that object to all the stories of that object in the past. what my father told me, what my guru told me, what my teacher told me, what my friend told me. So we have a huge bank of data on that object, which keeps on running automatically. Don't do it. Just look at the object impassively as a witness, as a camera, or as a pigeon in the room. A pigeon does not know what your mind knows. So you're trapped because of your mind. So just for 10 minutes daily, look at an object without the mind. Look at an object without a story about that object. Look at that object without a running commentary. And you will find, surprisingly, you have become the master of your mind. और कहते हैं मन जीता तो जग जीता. When you have won your mind, you have won the whole world. And now you will realize your mind is also a sense organ. Your mind, as I told you before, travels in time, both in the past and the future. It can tell you a number of things, innumerable things about any object, any situation, any problem. And if you want a solution, it can give you infinite number of solutions in no time. But since our mind is focused on the eye, focused on the sense organs, it works at a slow speed. Because this conscious mind of ours works on a slow speed. Because it has been made from outside. It is a fresh creation, which that person has made while learning from everybody. Whosoever has come and taught, he has learned. So this conscious mind is about, as old as your age. 10 years, 20 years, 30 years, 40 years, 50 years, 80 years, 100 years. But the subconscious mind, which has given you your body, which is pumping your heart, which is making your blood flow, which is creating your blood, which is digesting food, which is inhaling air, which is operating your lungs, which is cleaning all the liquid in your body in the kidneys, which is excreting the waste. All that is working based on a mind which is infinite in age and infinite in power. So instead of connecting with that mind, which is infinite in age and infinite in power, we are focused on the mind which we have developed. And we are focused on the mind which is focused on the five senses. And we are focused on the mind which is telling us stories about the objects and the people outside. So this is the trap. And then in order to succeed in the world outside, you have to either work smart or work hard. But when you leave this and you go to the subconscious, then you come into touch with your mind, which has infinite speed, infinite knowledge, and can operate in infinite time. It is eternal. So how do you do that? You do that with the simple practice which I told you. 10 minutes, keep the mind off the object. You must learn to separate the physical world from the mental world. The world outside is a physical world, world of objects and bodies and people and other things. And the world inside is mental. But because nobody has taught us how to see, we mix them. We see a combination of the objective world and the subjective world, of the physical world and the mental world. We see the object with thoughts. We see the object with stories. We see the object with description. We see the object in colors, in materials, in definitions. We see the object in meanings. We see the object with names. We see the object with words. So this is the lowest level of civilization. This is the lowest level of observation. This is the lowest level of concentration. This is the lowest level of samadhi. This is the lowest level of knowledge which is being gathered. and therefore you struggle in life. But if you go up the ladder of picking knowledge, if you are able to separate the object and the mind, the physical world and the mental world, then you gain supremacy over both of them. You become the master of the physical world, you become the master of the mental world. The physical world is controlled by the mind. And whatever you want, you tell the mind, it will create those actions, and the physical world will start giving you that. So there is no hard work, there is no smart work. The only thing is there is knowledgeable work. You are working on knowledge. You are elevating your excess of knowledge. You are creating action based on higher and higher knowledge. Earlier, your knowledge was coming from the conscious mind, which is a lower mind, slower mind, analytical mind. Now your knowledge is flowing automatically through intuition from the subconscious mind, from the infinite mind. So it will take you to deeper and deeper levels of the mind. When you go to the subconscious mind, when you start operating in the subconscious mind domain, you will find you're going into the deeper and deeper levels of the mind. As you go deeper and deeper in the levels of the mind, you will find your knowledge increases, your intelligence increases, your creativity increases, your happiness increases, your control over time increases. You can even not die. You can become permanent. And this is what we are aspiring for in moksha. So this is the route to liberation. We are moving deeper and deeper into the mind, and eventually we come out of the mind. Okay, let me repeat. Right now we are in the world with the conscious mind. Both of them are slow, and both of them are limited, and both of them are giving us pain and sorrow. But when we shift, move to the mental domain, then we realize it is the mental domain which is controlling the physical world, because it is the mind which is creating the action, and that action is taking place automatically in the physical world. Second, the quality of the mind depends on the quality of the knowledge. And knowledge can come to me through two ways. One, through the five sense organs. Second, through the mind as a knowledge sensing organ. In yogic parlance, in Sankhya Yoga, the mind is treated as the sixth organ of information, sixth organ of knowledge. So the power of the mind is far higher at the subconscious level compared to the power of the conscious mind. Conscious mind can give you limited knowledge of what the eye can see, what the ear can listen, what the nose can smell, what the tongue can taste. But the subconscious mind will start giving you access to higher and higher knowledge. It will start taking you to earlier and earlier times. It will start giving you knowledge of not only this universe, but all the universes that exist. It will start giving you ananda, a state of bliss. It will start giving you a realization of who you truly are. So when you are born, you do not know who you are. The world gives you an identification. The way it gave me an identification. I am Sanjay Mansukhani. Or as my father said, Sanjay Bhagwan Mansukhani. I am a Sindhi. I am a Hindu. I am an Indian. I am on planet Earth. I am in the Milky Way. I am in this particular universe. So all that identity has come from outside. I truly do not know who I am. But the moment I disconnect from the world outside, which is connected to my conscious mind and the five sense organs, I go inside. I activate my mind. The mind becomes my tool, my slave, my servant, my employee. And then whatever I ask my mind to give me, the mind starts giving me. because the mind is creating the world outside through karma, through action. That action is taking place automatically in the mind based on knowledge which the mind has. And that knowledge can come from the inside mind or the outside mind. So the first transition has to be in terms of knowledge, to move from the outside mind to the inside mind. We have all heard the word guru. India is a country famous worldwide for the guru concept. What does a guru mean? Guru means a person who can take you from darkness to light, who can take you from ignorance to knowledge, who can take you from zero knowledge to complete knowledge is called a guru. So this whole game of the guru is about knowledge. How is Ishvara defined in yoga? Patanjali says, Ishvara is the seed of unsurpassable knowledge. What it means is any object you look at, if you keep on looking at it properly, you will keep on getting more and more knowledge. You can access virtually infinite knowledge. From that object, you can understand about all similar objects. From all similar objects, you can understand about this universe. From this universe, you can understand about all universes. Why am I saying understand? Because when you are seeing, you are gaining knowledge. The act of seeing is an act of taking knowledge. So just by looking at one object, you can gain knowledge of the entire creation. You can become a Buddha. That is what is called getting awakened. Now you're awake to your true potential, who you are, and not what the world and the school and your father, mother, friends, family told you. You are getting that knowledge from inside you because you are a result of all that action. So the result knows where the action has come from. But the result was blind to the source of that action because the result was occupied with the world outside. But now the result is not occupied with the world outside. Now the result is occupied from where it has come. It is going deep back in the mind, freeing itself from the world outside, detaching itself from the world outside, attaching to the world only when it needs, not 24/7. So you are the master of your mind. And if you look at the names of Swamis, you will find each and every Swami has his name beginning with the word Swami and usually ending with the word Ananda. So Swami of what? Swami means a master. When they become the master of their mind, then this journey begins. Then, as Patanjali explains in the Samadhi chapter, first chapter, he says, first, you see the object as it is, then your mind gets disciplined. Second, once your mind becomes your slave, you can put it to any application. Now, using that mind and looking at that same object, the mind will tell you the complete universal picture about that object. It will tell you about what sizes that object can be created, what colors, infinite colors, what materials, infinite materials, what times, where was this object 5 years back, 10 years back, 100 years back, 1,000 years back, where will this object be 10,000 years in the future? It will tell you everything about that object. And once you know about one object, then you can know about any object. All you need to do is see it as it is. And then the mind is applied to it, and then it works. So you have complete idea about this universe because all that you have seen or you can see is open to you, available to you in an instant. Why in an instant? Because the subconscious mind is not bound by the conscious mind. Subconscious mind is infinite mind, infinite time, infinite speed. It can give you information in a flash. It can process information in a flash. So when you're looking at a problem, when you have a situation in hand and you want a solution, and if you are trained this method, your mind will instantly run through infinite options and will give you the answer in no time. Do this. And that is called intuitive knowledge. Intuition is lightning speed. Thinking is not lightning speed. Thinking is in a reasonable speed because it is connected to the world. So once you are able to do that with one universe, you can do it for multiple universes. You have knowledge about all the universes. And then there is no sorrow because you have complete knowledge now. What should you be sorrowful about? Anything you desire will come because knowledge is creating action. You see, we are knowledge to action converters. We take in knowledge consciously. Action comes out automatically. We have 5 Jnanendriyas, which takes in knowledge intentionally. As I told you, without concentration, you cannot make an observation. Without concentration, you cannot listen. So taking in is intentional, but what comes out is not intentional. The mind will push it out. So karma is automatic. Karma will come. Action will come, depending on the mind and its knowledge. So all we need to do is realize first, we are knowledge to action converters. And where am I picking my knowledge from? Am I picking it from the world? Am I picking it from the scientists who themselves do not have answers? They are searching frantically for thousands of questions. They don't know. Or am I looking at my own library, where I have come from, my journey, all the sanskaras, all the memories are there. I'm awakening those memories and seeing. And then I have all the answers. So I become a Buddha. So this is success without any working. It is natural. There is no hard working about it. There is no smart working about it. It is like breathing. It is happening automatically. It is like the flow of blood in your body. It is happening automatically. It is like digestion. It is happening automatically. So your knowledge will come automatically. That is why in our land, Guru concept was given tremendous importance. If you have a person who can connect you to knowledge, your life is done. Right knowledge. But if you have a person who is connected to false knowledge, your life will be a hell. And people are going through hell because they are connected to people who have false knowledge, who have ulterior motives in that knowledge, who are out there making a business out of it. So people are going through hell. So all you need to do is go deep inside. And the exercise is very simple. 10 minutes, observe an object as an object without the mind. Separate the object and the mind. Then you have command over the physical world. You have command over the mental world. And you are virtually free to do anything. All you need to do is get connected automatically to the highest source of knowledge, and that knowledge will flow. Now, Patanjali again makes a very interesting statement in the first chapter, Samadhi chapter. He says, Ishvara is Adi Guru. He is the eternal teacher. All knowledge which mankind has come from Ishvara. So when you chant Om, Om is the name of the Lord, Om is the name of Ishvara, is supposed to represent Ishvara. You are awakening that Adi Guru inside you. You are awakening that eternal source of all knowledge within you. And you have that access to that infinite library of all knowledge inside you. And it can be accessed in no time, in a flash, because you are using intuition to access it. And when you are using intuition to access it, you are getting the correct knowledge, right knowledge, authentic knowledge, original knowledge. It is called Ritambara. It is not called Satya. Satya is relative truth of this world. Ritambara is existential truth. The truth which the existence is holding with itself, that becomes available to you. And when you have that access, you are very close to the ultimate. And then it is automatic. It is simply flowing. So, Ishvara is the source of all unsurpassed knowledge. So, the world outside is Ishvara in all his unsurpassed knowledge. The world inside, the mental world, is the Adi Guru giving you all the knowledge. Now, it depends how are you connected to that Adi Guru. What is the extent of your connection? Based on that, that knowledge will flow. Second, what is the intention of the use of that knowledge? If it is something which is not good for humanity, which is not good for others, then like the Rakshasas, you might get certain knowledge, but then an end will be put to you. But if you are not having a bad intention, if you have noble intentions, if you want to serve humanity, if you want to take the civilization to Satyam, then the floodgates of knowledge will open for you. And the gods themselves will come down to be your protectors and saviors.